Pakistan has arrested the man India blames for the 2008 Mumbai terror attacks. Authorities say Hafiz Saeed was detained on terror financing charges. Saeed is the founder of the Lashkar-e-Taiba, and that's the militant group blamed for the 4-day siege in Mumbai, which killed over 160 people. He's been designated a terrorist by the United States, but he denies any involvement and insists that his network, which includes hundreds of schools, hospitals and a publishing house, has no ties to militant groups. His arrest comes just before Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's maiden trip to the White House. Now, for more, let's cross to Neha Punya, and she's in New Delhi for this. Neha, what's been the reaction in India to his arrest so far?
The Indian Foreign Ministry, Glenda, says they're not going to issue a formal response on this yet, but sources I spoke to have told me that they're not entirely surprised by Pakistan's decision to arrest Hafiz Saeed just before Imran Khan heads to Washington, D.C. to meet President Trump. They're calling this arrest an eyewash, an insincere attempt to once again tell the world they're doing something to tackle homegrown terrorism, as India calls it, but they're saying they're not impressed because previously as well, when Hafiz Saeed was arrested or in detention in Pakistan, he enjoyed a lot of freedom. For example, in the recently held Pakistan elections, he even fielded candidates from a party that he had set up. India also says that this decision comes at a time when there is that Financial Action Task Force deadline to crack down on terror financing hanging over Islamabad's head. That deadline is for October, so India believes that this step is in that direction and not really an attempt to tackle the man and the organization that New Delhi believes was behind the 26/11 attack in 2008.
Anyhow, there's another issue as well between India and Pakistan that's coming to a head in an hour's time, and that's the International Court of Justice. It's going to give its verdict on whether an Indian man on death row in Pakistan is actually a spy. Do we know how the ICJ's decision is going to impact relations between the two?
That Indian national Kulbhushan Jadhav was arrested in 2016, and this has definitely been a very sore point between the two countries that haven't held any kind of diplomatic dialogue in the last 3 years. And the expectation from this court hearing is the verdict is expected to, experts in India say, expected to possibly annul that death penalty that was awarded by a military court in Pakistan, and possibly, in the best case scenario, order a retrial for this man who's been accused of espionage by the Islamabad government. India says that charge is completely false, that this man was picked up in Iran where he carried out a business after retiring from the Indian Navy services. Islamabad claims that he was spying on behalf of India's intelligence agency, RNAW, and they're also claiming, India is also claiming that Pakistan was wrong in denying consular access to the Indian national. They're saying that this was a violation of the Vienna Convention by the Pakistani government. Now, we already know that India has planned a press briefing by the lead counsellor in the case in London 2 hours after that verdict will be announced. So India hoping that the verdict will go in its favour, and however small a win for New Delhi, it's certainly going to press home the point that Pakistan was in the wrong, and that's only going to make relationship between the two countries even more difficult.
Neha Punya speaking to us from New Delhi.